everybody for joining us for the weekend chat for WikiTree Challenge number 8 for Mark Thompson. This is a really just informal chat to check in with everybody. You can ask questions, share what you're working on. So go ahead. Anybody can get started. Does anybody want to see anything or have any questions?
Why don't we check out the score sheet, see how everybody's been doing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, let me go ahead and refresh here. Looks like we're at 412 for
Nice.
CC7, 187 profiles created.
Wow.
So it's kind of cool. It shows that we started with 46, added the 187, but we're up to 412. So that shows that there's quite a few connections that were pulled in, connected to other branches. So that's great.
Right.
And I did see on the GTG posts that people had claimed the discovery bounty. So that's great on some of the lines. And there's some lines that are still open.
Is that Azure, is that claimed when somebody finds a connection to the big tree?
Exactly.
Yeah, for each line. Yeah.
For each
for each line. Oh, I see.
Great grandparents, is that right?
Yep. So it's a 15 points for each one. So
nice.
And then the other bounty points are awarded for interesting finds. 10 points for each interesting find that is added to this the space page. And then tomorrow, or probably tomorrow, right, Celia, or Monday?
Supposed to be tomorrow. Sometimes it runs over a little bit.
Celia does. Those are the big scored 25 points apiece that she goes through the branches and finds places where parents need to be added, that there might be some challenge too.
Yeah, the balance between, are people going to solve this, and are people going to solve this in the first 5 minutes that I publish?
That's must be tough. I always have had a hard time picking out, what's the right amount of challenging to be achievable.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Well, for myself, I often hang out in the 7th degree. I'm sorry, you go ahead and give us the overview.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, I feel like I'll look at my connection to our guests like Mark and see who that like 6th person is away from Mark heading towards me, and I feel like it keeps me out of the way of where all the main action is, in the closer relatives. But I suppose it could be less interesting to the guests, I'm just randomly
working the boundaries, working the edges.
Yeah, so I'm working on this Zettel family, German Catholics from Bruce County in Ontario, and they come. Is there someone named Clara that they came through?
Clara Massel.
Yeah. Did she? Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at a person named Zettel. So I'll just have to bounce back towards you to see how I wound up there in Waterloo, Ontario. Oh, but that person has a DNA connection, a member of WikiTree who should share some of his DNA. He lived 1847 to 1931.
Interesting, considering that was through marriage, but unsurprising, I suppose.
Oh yeah. So the connection would not be to you. It's to this in-law of your cousin. Yeah. So I feel like it keeps me out of everyone else's way, but maybe I'll back in a little closer and see. Or I also like to hear where we need help, where the research is more challenging than adding English speakers from the census, which is not at all difficult in the late 1800s in Canada. So maybe I should hop over to Poland or something.
Yeah, I was getting interested in that chop line, finding all the chops out there because it was just it intrigued me, that unique name, that unique surname. So that's what I there were some already on WikiTree, and so I wanted to see, well, how are they connected to you? And so I got some of them cleaned up and sent over to Sky. Hopefully she'll get a chance to look at those, see if they actually connect into that line.
I
That'd be
was
cool.
buzzing all day long watching Sky just go through that branch of the tree with a chainsaw.
Oh, did you lose some relations?
Oh, she pushed back generations.
Oh,
It was
I
the,
see.
It was the chainsaw
Yes.
on the brick walls.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Just
cool.
absolutely
She's
annihilating
smashing them
the
down.
wall.
That's
Oh, just
amazing.
smashing them down. Exactly. Yeah. There's
That's yes, you get somebody in there with that kind of language expertise and
no kidding.
oh, I
like
thought
I had
when
seen,
you said a chainsaw to the tree, I think of when we
No.
find that we are researching the wrong branch and
no. The good
and
kind of
then
chainsaw in this
I
case.
like to say sorry for your loss when you find people that you thought, you know, you've spent all this research on and then you find well, they're not really
No,
my
I
people,
actually
but they're
I
somebody's.
went into this prepared for somebody to find the branch of the tree that I had been barking up incorrectly for 10 years. But I haven't seen any of that, thankfully, so far. But
That's good.
I'd be happy to find it because an error is still an error. But
Right.
there's been a
Yeah.
few there's a few Scottish experts. I'm not sure if they're on right now, but they're working away at the edges right now of some things that me and another family member from the UK have been working at for quite a long time. He's been working at for much longer. So I was very interested to
Wonderful.
see them chip away at the edges of that particular
Right.
branch.
It's just, and having the geographical expertise, someone who can
Yeah.
look at a record and go, nah, that's not the right John Morrison, because there's no way he would have, been a Cumberland man and then wound up over there. That can be so helpful as well. And anyone who's got access to
Yeah,
credits
it's really
for
cool.
Scotland's people that
Oh,
isn't
yeah.
paying as dearly as we are for them.
Mhm.
Like when we had university students who had credits to burn.
Oh, that's nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say if anybody bumps into anything that actually does require some investment, don't sit on it if there's an answer sitting there that's merely $1.20 away,
$10 away. Yeah.
right. Just
Yeah.
let me know.
Great.
Definitely. Yeah, looks like Sky's got 26 profiles added. She's been going to town.
Right.
That's cool. We have
I'm gonna have to catch up.
4 people that have over 20 profiles added. That's awesome.
Oh, that's right. It's
Very good.
Rosina Kirsch, who's this Zettel man's wife, and I wanted to go look at her father.
Such an interesting name too.
Oh, and
Kirsch or
Amanda's
Zettel?
mentioning that.
Like cherry,
go
right?
ahead.
Kirschwasser.
Yes, look at the distances. Sneak preview. Ooh,
Yeah,
you've got
Hillary's
a common ancestor.
Amanda mentioned that Hillary Gatsby
sweet.
dropped by 7.
Oh, look at that.
She's dropped by
Wow.
2.
Oh, she's such a knowledgeable researcher.
And
Oh, went up by 13, but it's a common ancestor. Let's go see
By
it
a
now.
common
This
ancestor.
this is the first time I've seen this report, Azure. Can you tell me what I'm looking at?
Yeah, so on the score sheet right here at the top,
Yeah.
that's linked to the space page, there's a button up here for distances.
Yeah.
And what it's doing is it's checking your connection to all of the participants in the challenge, or actually anybody who's taken part in a challenge this year. So these are
Anybody
all
who's taken part in the
participants.
challenge this year. Okay.
So
So
as
any
the
of the
week
last week.
unfolds,
Oh, and the colors represent the change in distance during the course of events.
Yeah, it's
Well, so there's a
it's
couple
histogram.
different things. Yeah. So there's
It's
a
a
time
histogram.
lapse,
ah,
and then there's also whether they're relatives is the dark green, or yeah, relatives, which means just a by marriage,
Connection through relatives.
and then common
Connection through common
ancestors, blood.
ancestor.
so
Oh,
that's your
and
cousins.
the y-axis in the little chart is the degree of relation, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
Yeah,
right, and then the
Up and down,
x-axis is that
time. Yep.
Oh,
time?
Time.
I wish we preserved the
4
relatives,
hours mark.
Well, he wasn't
Oh.
connected to anyone, so this all started
Oh.
We got the first connection.
Yeah, yeah. I think my entire tree was disconnected.
Oh,
at
neat. So
point
you're
the
no
project
longer
started,
on
right?
No Mark is an
Yep.
island today. At least not this Mark.
At least not this Mark, exactly.
Yeah. I was looking at my Thompsons from the Smoky Mountains where there are so many Ulster Scots.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, it looks like there's been a
but
lot
they go
of
back to Cumberland.
a lot of changes that happened where everybody was through the relations, but then they switched to being through ancestors.
Yeah, so
Right.
it's definitely really
So that's
cool
really
because
cool.
at some point, yeah, we connected a bunch of reconnections. This is like an absolutely gorgeous
Yeah,
connection.
but I kind of want to see that dark green continue through the week so I can still see how my
Like behind it.
connection gets
Yeah.
closer and closer, you know, even as when it pops up like that.
Yeah, that's the only flaw
it'd be
is that
cool to
once you
see-
get the comment, it switches over.
But we could pull our own
It'd be cool
report
to
like
see
that,
it
right?
in the back. Yeah.
All right, let's see. I was
Behind
at
it.
28 and then I went to 23. Ooh, now I'm down to 21 and 10th cousins.
Mhm.
Oh,
That's
Carolyn
really
drops
speaking.
down to 16 degrees.
Wow, that's
Cool.
that's quite close.
So
Yeah.
the fact that they all happened at the same time probably suggests that it was one line that opened it up for just about everybody.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like it was a finding, right?
See.
Mhm.
I dropped again, and
If I had to guess, I would say it was that banning line, because that banning line got a
yeah,
big
I'm
pushback.
on the banning now as well.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
only
yeah.
dropped from 23 to
When
22.
I
Yep.
go to Roots Tech and I take a look at Roots Tech Finder and they show that, well, you're related to 3,000
Oh yeah, that
connections
family
here.
search.
Yeah.
It's like 99.7% of them are through the banning line.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we'll have
because
to
it's such
find
a-
you some different ones.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I cut in. You said, is
No,
it
no, I was
such a
just gonna say,
well-researched line? Is that
Yeah,
Connecticut?
it's just a really well-researched line by a lot of and by a lot of researchers. So when I think it's one of those magic lines that once you click it, it's I won't call it royalty, but it's kind of like my royal line because it's so well researched.
Like
right?
a gateway
It's a gateway
into
line, exactly.
that solid New England,
Yeah, yeah.
people
Yeah,
who've
that's what
been
mine's
doing this
through.
longer than
Mhm.
other communities.
We're
Yeah, as long
11th
as it's been a
cousins,
Mayflower.
Mark.
Wow.
Mark. Oh, we're 11th cousins.
here.
Hooray! And on the batting line. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And where's it go? Birch.
funny.
Oh, as far back as Birch. Oh, cool.
It's a little tricky because, of course, the easiest ones are basically the white middle class English.
Mhm.
Let's do United Kingdom. That whole area are the
Mhm,
most
Oh yeah,
researched.
and of course
connected
that's
often.
me as well.
Yeah,
Now it
we
was
got a
interesting.
lot.
Greg was connected, which is usually French Canadians.
Mhm.
Oh, Greg
Looking
Clark.
at-
That's how I
Yeah.
was connected at first. Was French Canadian as
Really?
well. Yeah, when I was 24 steps, it was oh, I forgot who I was adding because I was on PRDH looking at them. But
Greg and I
Mark
are
is
related.
my mother's 11th, even though of course we're much
22nd. Whoa.
closer in age.
Oh, also through the banning side.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right. 'cause
through
yeah.
Udalls. I was just speaking about the well-known Udall family from the Western U.S.
Oh, I should
and
check.
Secretary of
I
the
think you're.
Interior.
Let's see. It's just gonna do the connection finder.
Oh yeah, there's Quebec. Desiree.
Chatillon.
My
Run.
American Revolutionary Patriot is a French Canadian by birth.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I have long had a theory, completely unfounded in anything other than conjecture, that my Thompson, that's my connection through to Greg is actually through the Thompson line, through the Murphys, up to the Murphys. Oh,
Yeah,
Murphy.
so this
cool. Up
is
through the Shield
through-
Murphys. Oh yeah. Oh, interesting.
Bissonnette. That's a new surname for me. Bissonnette.
Yeah, one of my long held conjectures is, because I've haven't been able to make a connection on my patrilineal line back to Ireland. You start to look
Oh
for,
yeah,
well, what the heck happened, right? How did they get there? Because I've looked
right.
through all of the obvious lines, the obvious immigration pathways, and one of the dark horse theories is that one of the older brothers was a UEL and actually came through the States and then came north through
Oh
the
right.
US, because the timing would have been about right-ish, right?
Yeah.
That early 1800s, and that area was sort of a UEL, United Empire Loyalist stronghold there in southern Alberta, or in southern Ontario,
Mm-hmm.
or just north of Belleville, right? Which was so, because there's lots of United Empire Loyalists ended up populating that area. But
And
that's complete, unsourced, unevidenced. It's one of my dark horse ideas, right?
and does anyone not know, right? These were the Americans, the colonial Americans who were loyal to their king and
Yeah.
fled the US in order to
Yeah.
remain loyal.
Mm-hmm. But they were, all indications are that they were from, probably from Kilkenny. But I'm just trying to find, like, at birth, like they were born in Kilkenny and then came to Southern Ontario, and then pretty much stayed in exactly the same place, oftentimes at the next farm, throughout their lives, or at least one point in their lives. And then they lost, about 2 generations ago in the family, they lost connection with each other. We all thought that they didn't know each other, but I did a big letters project where we're actually reviewing, we collected family letters that had been collected for generations together, and we're transcribing thousands of letters that were shared between family members and all collected together. And we're finding that, they all knew each other and were together, but, just as the cousins went from second cousin to third cousin to fourth cousin, they just lost touch with each other.
Isn't that the case? Yeah.
Yep.
When the family reunion switches from going to your great grandparents' house to going to your grandparents' house, and all those second and third cousins drift away.
Mm-hmm. We've been trying to
hi,
reconnect.
John.
Is that John Tyler?
Is that John Tyner?
Tyner.
He's an Irish project member.
Oh, good.
Wexford?
Talking about Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
And is it the Thompsons then who went to Ireland?
Yep. Yeah, that whole the whole quadrant. So my paternal grandfather's quadrant of the tree, everything as far as we know, farther into the past from my grandfather Morris Thompson, is of Irish descent.
Are they you'd think the team captain would look at the guest tree, but here we are. Are they are they from the north?
They are from all over. Actually, I shouldn't say that. They're depending upon how far back you go in time. I have DNA evidence that suggests that the actual Thompson, because Thompson not being an Irish name, of course, but being an extremely common non-Irish name, my conjectures is that my Y line they were Ulster Scots. They came over from the plantation of Ulster at the time of the Ulster plantation. That was when the Thompson line got into Ireland. And so they started in north of Ireland and then went through, kind of disseminated throughout Ireland. But so 200 years later, they found themselves in Kilkenny and then came across. But I'm putting that together actually from DNA evidence, not from. I've been working on about 5 years ago, I realized that I couldn't find the records. So I put together a Y-DNA project, and I've been working with other Y-DNA testers to try to piece together the Y line from the genetic side. And so all of the evidence seems to suggest that, so that County Kilkenny there on James is an inferred location from where his sister was, for the following generation. That his sister Mary stayed in Ireland for another generation because she married and stayed in Ireland, and then
didn't come to Canada.
And didn't come to Canada. So she left footprints in the records for another 30 or 40 years, and her kids were born there and stuff like that. And then when her husband died, she came over. So we're
Ah.
kind of, all four of the siblings can be, all four of the siblings have been confirmed as being siblings genetically and through records now, but they, we don't know who the parents are. So any one of them is a good clue as to how any of them came over.
Oh, right. And
Particularly
it's
because they
getting,
appear to have come at different times.
and you're at kind of getting at the limits of the autosomal, with how far back you're going.
Well, the very interesting thing is because I did the Y project, I went out searching for people in different branches to try to get as wide a Y perspective as I could. And I actually found some second degree ascendant cousins from me. So some second cousins twice removed on one of the other lines, actually a descendant of Thomas Thompson, of James Thompson, descendant of James Thompson, Eliza Swaith. One of his grandkids, I found 3 of their grandkids who are still alive.
Oh, wonderful.
Wow.
Yeah, so there was
Cool.
there was some wonderful generational stretching, like enormous pioneer families, 10 kids, and I found some descendants of the 10th kid who was a descendant of the 10th kid. And they were both born when dad was like 60. So we ended up with this
Wow.
huge generational stretching. So I found 3 cousins in their 80s who were all descendants. So I actually found a really strong, and they all granted me access to their DNA, both Y and autosomal. So I've got this 2 generations above me. It's kind of like I got my grandfather to do an autosomal test at this age.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm the person when everyone says, well, because we can't dig up grandma. And I'm like, well, why can't we?
Because she was cremated.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now when I
I don't
find, so I keep they're kind of like my gateway to autosomal testing because I've got 2 degrees closer through them, and I've got 3 of them, and I've got Y DNA now on. So if I can find another Thompson, if I can find a candidate Thompson descendant in Ireland, I got a fair chance actually with autosomal, better than most would because of that generational stretching and getting these
lovely.
second descendant cousins. And then also I've got a strong and confirmed Y signal through multiple lines. So I know that if we do actually find a male descendant in Ireland on that line, we should be able to confirm it.
That's awesome.
I love poking through, folks's trees on the bigger sites and trying to figure out, why is my James Thompson in this person's tree, tracing the path back to the person, and finding those, hoping for that enthusiastic genealogist on the line.
Yeah.
And instead of the, I've had to look at Judy Russell's ethics posts more than once. It's like, I know that person is the secret key, but you can't harass them. No. Don't bother people who tell you no. It's so hard.
Yeah,
So
I had no
what is
idea.
everybody
You start
working
looking
on?
for those distant connections to make and you never know what it's going to be like when they pick up the phone. Like when you finally figure out who they are and you get in touch with them.
Yeah. I have to look at the newspaper records first to make sure they're not, dealing methamphetamines.
Yeah.
As happens, unfortunately, too much. And
Thankfully, they were very nice people. I went out and I spent a week with them, met them, and they drove me around and introduced me to the old homesteads and told me what was where, because they were
lovely.
their family never left the home county, so
those are the
they've
choice
got
cousins.
they've got the secondhand memories of the actual immigration, right? And you find the genealogists in that branch, and you build on the shoulders of others. It was a wonderful trip. I was out there for a week.
I gotta say, every one of these
That
Zettles is marrying a Teresa. It's kind of fun. A lot of Teresas in this family. I guess I'm not tempted to pivot to my next, 6th degree from Mark because it's banning. Maybe I'll just have to tell the connection finder to don't go through the bannings.
Yeah.
Get the more obscure people in the tree. make someone else's day with the power of our collaborative research,
Mhm.
than those
Well,
Connecticut folks.
no,
Well, and
yeah.
now I'm in Indiana, my own native state.
Nice.
You know,
Alright,
people
does
come
anybody
down
else
into
have
Minnesota.
anything they want to share or a question to ask? We don't have very many suggestions because there wasn't very many profiles, but there are suggestions if anybody wants to work on those.
And we'll get a batch more on Monday still. Is that how?
Tuesday.
Yeah, and then another batch the next week after. So
The I don't remember if this updates as well as in let's see, I do have it open. The looking directly in WikiTree Plus. So let's see what that says.
all right.
That looks like they're the same. So there's only 220 profiles that have suggestions on them.
Inventory.
So
Yeah.
so once we get more done, link in more outside branches, we'll get more people.
Have more. Yeah.
Well, we don't seem to have an occupation care category for butter makers. That's funny
Huh, well,
because this Mr. Zettel was a tanner later in life. Maybe I'll call him a dairyman. That's what we'll call him.
yeah, they might have they do tend to avoid being too specific.
Right. I'm
Unless you
making him
start
a
getting, once you get
dairyman.
up to like 10,000 dairymen, then maybe you start getting into the
Right.
who's a butter maker versus who's a I don't know. What are the
Although
other?
there's always the breakout by location too.
Right.
True.
Hmm.
Oh, this woman was named, she has a brother named Benjamin, and her last name was also Benjamin.
Oh, Benjamin.
Her
Oh.
married last name was Benjamin.
Oh, that's
Wow.
cute. Should have named one of
All
her boys
right.
for her brother.
She did not. She named one Josiah for his dad.
Hmm. Well, that's the more typical pattern.
Wow.
My great grandmother's name is Olive Green, and that is not a name you could find. I was trying to find the marriage records for them, and I was like, oh, maybe he was like he was pretty well off, and it should have been in the newspaper. You cannot find anything
Try to
searching
find Olive Green. I know.
Nothing.
Oh
at all.
no.
Yeah,
Full
yeah.
text search is just the worst.
I have actually my last name with my last name, full text search is challenging. Like until you could actually start to filter down off of full text searches recently, it was pretty much a no-go. Or if you were looking at a really, really specific geographic area, but the broad search, there's like the great distinction between Thompson and Chop, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Why did they name everybody get really unique names? It makes things a lot easier. Go
Remember
back in time and tell
one
them.
of the last challenges, somebody had a family, all the kids in the family got gems for names.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
First, it was Diamond, and the boys were like William Jasper, and what's the other one?
Mm.
Can't remember. I was like, now that's what you do. Then you know that you're looking at the right family members.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Jasper, not terribly unique, but yeah.
William Jasper. I mean,
Sapphire.
yeah, you find them sometimes, but you're not going to find a lot of them. You need to scram.
Doing that Zettel research in Southern Ontario was nice and easy. Like I never found a Zettel that wasn't in the Zettel line.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
it's
just
interesting
doing
because I have a
bunch
one
of
of my
siblings.
favorite authors is a Zettel.
Oh, that's neat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna add Regina, Ambrose's sister.
All right.
Although on the Irish side, the Hickeys and the Shields,
Hickey.
terrible. It's almost as bad as Thompson. I've actually got another family researcher that I've been working with for probably 10 years to flesh out the Hickey line, and they're even worse than the Thompsons in that they've got like a 6-sided dice with men's names on it that they roll every generation. And they, so there are Johns and Morrises, and then it's then the father is Morris and John, and then there's a
Oh,
they just
goodness.
rotate
Oh,
through.
that's the Michaels in my
Sometimes
that's
it
family.
work
Michael
well.
Hickey, exactly. Yeah.
If they're following the Scottish naming patterns, then you do at least get that boost of knowing that you are looking probably at the right family.
Yeah, because there are some. Thankfully, their 6-sided dice isn't completely filled with Jameses and Charleses and Georges like the Thompson line is. The Hickey side, thankfully, actually has a few unique names in it. So when you find somebody with that name, although Hickey's a common name, some of the foreign names that they chose, like Morris, for example, we were always like my generation and my father's generation were always confused why my grandfather Morris was named Morris. Like, I've got this Irish guy whose last name is Morris. Like, where did that come from? And it was Maurice. So we were always confused by that. And then when I started digging back, I found his great grandfather had a brother, Morris Hickey. And then that opened up the whole Hickey line, and it made sense of the connection to my grandfather's name. And so we look in the other branch of the Hickeys, and there are 10 men named Morris, because Morris,
Wow.
we found I found the one that everybody respected and thought was, the bomb, the one Morris Hickey. And then for generations, all of the descendants were named Morris. And it just so happened that our branch only got one. So we were confused because there was only one. Once we connected 3 to the other lines, they were chock full of them. Right.
Wow, that's really interesting. Huh. Very cool.
Now,
All right.
Fitzmaurice, is that Irish or Scottish? I wonder.
Oh, yeah. I've never actually found a good rationale for how the first Morris got their name. Because I push back onto the, that's the line where we push back into Ireland.
And I was thinking, I've seen the name Fitzmaurice, son of Morris. Yeah.
I've got Irish Morrisons
Oh,
in my tree, so it's definitely out there.
Oh, it could have been a last name that got transferred into a first name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us for the weekend chat. We'll let everybody get back to what they're working on. And the next Zoom is going to be, of course, on Thursday at noon Eastern for the wrap up. And we're looking forward to how much we can do in the remaining days of the challenge. How much, hopefully we'll be able to get the 1,000 connections badge for you, Mark, and
Would that be amazing?
maybe the 2K. All right. Thank you again, everybody. We'll see you around the tree, and reach out on Discord if you need help. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi.